Afternoon, everybody, from the third largest city in the United States, Chicago, Illinois. It's The Tribe with Mario Smith. Hello, I'm Mario Smith. Thank you so much for joining us today on Backchannel, YouTube. I'm like Mr. Rogers. I'm putting things away. And on all your Amazon-supported devices. Great day today. Mr. Dale Scott, former Major League Baseball umpire, is going to join us today. He has a new book out called The Umpire is Out, I believe that is. Let me make sure that I have the title right and that, I'm nothing if not professional. Professional. Um, and we're looking forward to having a conversation with him. We've got news and comment and all that cool stuff too. Tell you guys about my night last night in a few minutes. Joining me from Portland, Oregon is super producer Gliss. What's up, Mr. Gliss?
Not much. How you doing?
Yeah, no. Trying to figure out why this is lagging, and there's no reason for it to be, but it is for some reason. I just got to doing a whole bunch of stuff on here, and it was no problem at all. So I'm a little miffed. That's my word, miffed. I'm a little miffed. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm feeling much better than yesterday.
Yeah, same here.
Oh man, whoop. It was rough last night. I went to a really cool show. I went to go see Sons of Kemet and my friend Angel Bat Daweed last night at Lincoln Hall here in Chicago up on the north side. Great show. Absolutely stellar performance by Sons of Kemet. Angel does what she does. It was a good time. But oh boy, it was a couple of times there I thought I was going to have to leave early. Not feeling well at all. It was bad. It was bad. But I got a chance to meet the band afterwards. Angel's an old friend of mine, so I know her and her guys already. Got a chance to meet Sons of Kemet, really cool dudes. They're doing a U.S. tour, based in the U.K., but doing a U.S. tour right now. And it was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. Hard driving music. If you ever get a chance to check this album out, it's called Black to the Future. Sons of Kemet. Amazing band. And then I had fried fish at like midnight or something, and then I fell asleep.
Well, that sounds good.
It was interesting. I normally don't eat that late, but I hadn't eaten all day. Huh?
What kind of fish was it?
Oh, it was perch.
Oh, all right.
Yes. See, look, long story, but my friend who I was traveling with was like, we got to do the old man thing. And I'm like, what's that? He's like, we have to get some perch. I'm like, oh boy, that is what old people do. So that's exactly what we did. We ate perch. And it was delicious, and it was fried, and it was all those things. And it helped last night. And then I tried to eat a piece today. Not so much. But last night, though, it killed a lot of the alcohol problems that I was having. But I was reading some of Dale's book. What an interesting book. What an interesting guy.
Yeah, interesting guy for sure. Yeah.
And I'm very, very much looking forward to our conversation with him today. And I think more than questions about, the obvious, I've got so many baseball questions I want to ask. I've never met a major league umpire before, so I am very bloody excited to talk to him.
He's a cool dude. And one little secret that a lot of people don't know about him is he's an English lab enthusiast, and he has a English lab named Wiley, who's a couple weeks older than Milo. So.
Oh wow! Okay, well, we get talk dogs too.
We don't need to talk dogs, but that's because he was kind of around my former job. The guy that hosted that show, he ran a charity foundation. And so they would do like a big celebrity golf tournament every year. It was usually, a lot of people from Oregon, U of O, Oregon State. But Dale Scott was one of the guys that participated, since he lives here, here in Portland during the summer, even when he was umpiring. But yeah, that's he's a cool dude. I'm interested to hear what you have lined up for him, because I'm very excited to read his book. Just like you said, a lot of reasons to want to dive into some of the personal struggles that he had in his career, but also, like you, I'm as a baseball fan, just a really, really interesting guy. Worked 3 World Series, tons of postseason games. So I'm more interested to hear his perspective about being that up and close in the game for so long. I think he umpired for over 30 years. So
Yeah, like 33 years or something like
yeah.
that. That's a long time, and almost didn't make it past year 1. Apparently, he was really bad when he first started. I got a lot to ask him about that. I have some other questions too about him coming out. And like I told you, and I'm going to tell him, I totally forgot that was the deal. I absolutely forgot. And I kept going, why is his name so familiar to me? And then I just remember him being a really good umpire. And whenever he called the game, I felt like both teams were here. And instead of, he was no Angel Hernandez. I want to ask him about him too.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, there's some other umpires that I'd be curious to know about. Like, I know he probably won't, he won't say anything too bad about any people in his fraternity, but
but I got
some other guys that I have more questions for that maybe I don't respect quite as much. But
they were absolutely not good umpires. Am I doing good on my angle? Because I know I don't want to upset anybody. Do I need to lift up?
Yeah, you look good. You look good.
All right, thank you, man. Hey, all right. Because yesterday I felt like I was walking in the mud. It was bad. It was so bad. Let's see who's in the chat while we're here. Hey, well, all right. This isn't so bad. These names, I mean. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Tay is here. What's up, brother? Megan is here from Texas. Davey as well from Texas. London is here. Mushy Carp. Nice Peacock. Jazzy Dolphin. And then rounding us out, Ronald. Ronald has joined the stream today. Thank you guys for being passengers on the drive. Truly appreciate it. For the folks watching on YouTube and listening to us on your Amazon supported devices, we thank you too. We have a new show schedule as of tomorrow. Oh, so it's new. And this is how it's going to go. See, so just listen and get it. Don't worry, nothing bad. Just listen. At 6 a.m. Eastern, Haley and Allison will be here with Haley and Allison's Good Morning. Although it's afternoon when they come on in the UK. That's first. Second, at 8 a.m., except for Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's Live Every Day with Liv Harrison. If you're not watching that, you should. She is awesome. One of the nicest people I've ever had the pleasure of seeing, and we really cannot wait to meet her. At 9 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Kate and Will. Okay? We're going to watch that. I don't mean to yell at you. I'm sorry. Jamie Renee at 10 a.m. every day. You watch that. And then Sir Anthony Davis at noon Eastern, except for Wednesdays when we do the Word of the Day quiz. You can watch that. And then at 2 p.m., your pal Hal, and then us at 4, rounding it out, ending the broadcast day for now. And then, so tomorrow, new changes to Backchannel.tv. Make sure that you follow us and start your day off at 6 a.m. with Haley and Allison's Good Morning. That's at 6 a.m. Eastern. Also, don't forget, you can leave a review of the show, not just this one, all of our shows at Backchannel.tv. We appreciate that. And again, today, Dale Scott's going to be on the show. Looking forward to that. It should be a good time. And thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it again. With headlines for today, the Biden administration plans to freeze federal student loan payments through August 31st, extending a moratorium that has allowed millions of Americans to postpone payments during the coronavirus pandemic, according to an administration official familiar with the White House's decision-making. Student loan payments were scheduled to resume May 1st after being halted since early in the pandemic, but following calls from Democrats in Congress, the White House plans to give borrowers additional time to prepare for payments. The action applies to more than 43 million Americans who owe a combined $1.6 trillion. Oh my God, in student debt held by the federal government, according to the latest data from the Education Department. That includes more than 7 million borrowers who have defaulted on student loans, meaning they are at least 270 days late on payments. Borrowers will not be asked to make payments until after August 31st, and interest rates are expected to remain at 0% during that period. And finally, the COVID-19 outbreak in China's largest metropolis of Shanghai remains extremely grim amid an ongoing lockdown confining around 26 million people to their homes, the city official said earlier today. The director of Shanghai's Working Group on Epidemic Control, Gu Hongyu, was quoted by state media as saying the outbreak in the city was, quote, still running at a high level, close quote. The situation is extremely grim, Gu said. China has sent more than 10,000 health workers from around the country to aid the city, including 2,000 from the military, and is mass testing residents, some of whom have been locked down for weeks. Most of eastern Shanghai, which was supposed to reopen last Friday, remain locked down along with the western half of the city. Shanghai recorded another 13,354 cases on Monday, the vast majority of them asymptomatic, bringing the city's total to more than 73,000 since the latest wave of infections began last month. No details have been ascribed to the outbreak driven by the Omicron BA.2 variant, which is much more infectious but also less lethal than the previous Delta strain. And those are the headlines at the top of the hour. We've got Scott today. We've got more stories and stuff. We're going to loosey goose's not the word. We're gonna be free flowing today as we welcome in Ultra Fly George Beneficial Tiger. Beneficial Tiger. All right, you say so. Beneficial. I appreciate it. Listen, I'll be back in a minute, and we will get started with the news of the day. And again, we're welcoming in Dale Scott to the show. So we're glad that you all are here with us on the drive. Live from Chicago, Illinois. We'll be back in just a moment. It's The Drive on Backchannel.tv, YouTube, and on your Amazon-supported devices. Right back. Welcome back, everybody. It's The Drive here on Backchannel.tv. Don't mean to hop up and down on you like that. It's just I have to get comfortable the best way that I can. On Backchannel.tv, YouTube, and on your Amazon-supported devices. Good Tuesday to you all. Thank you for joining us. Hope that you will hang out with us today as we interview with former Major League umpire Dale Scott, headed your way. Lots to talk about, not a lot of time to do it. Gliss, I mentioned last week that I went out, right? One thing that I didn't mention, this has been on the north side of Chicago in forever. And COVID really knocked the north side of Chicago down. A lot of businesses that I thought were still open are gone. Not like closed, but gone. It was weird being in Lincoln Park. It looked a bit like a ghost town. And I didn't get a chance to ask any of the folks that worked in the venue what it was like reopening, but they're one of the few places that were open. And weird, so very weird. Just even taking up to the north side was odd. I mean, COVID did a number, and talking about that report from Shanghai, I'm getting a little nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that they're confining people, but it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
Can't be in the house again.
Does not seem ideal, that's for sure.
No,
When we're
that's
just kind of coming out of the other side, or trying to come out of the other side.
It's it puts something on your mind, to say the least. I'm just hopeful that uh we get to the summer, because apparently when it's warmer, these cases will absolutely tamp down even more. But right now, it is cause for concern. Wore my mask all night last night. Oh, you'd have been proud of me, buddy. I did not take a chance at all. And they checked vax cards, at the door. I was like, nope, mask. People were standing around me. I was like, you're a little too close. Let's give me some room. But overall, great show again, and the folks at Lincoln Hall do an amazing job. And it was nice to be in somebody else's place for a change, instead of running to my job watching music, which I don't dislike. In case anyone from my job is watching, I love doing it. But it was cool to be out. It was really cool to be out. Had a really good Uber driver. He talked sports all the way. He sounded like he knew what he was talking about, which made it a lot easier. I didn't have to yell at him to tell him he was wrong. Yeah, always good, always good. Because I know that we've got to make sure that we're ready for Mr. Scott when he shows up. Let's do as many of these as we can. I think when we get together on Friday, I think we will be talking about a brand new Supreme Court justice, and that's going to be big news that day. The Senate today paved the way for a final confirmation vote on Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson after the Judiciary Committee deadlocked on advancing her nomination yesterday. The 53 to 47 vote included support from all 50 Democratic voting senators and Republican Senators Susan Collins of Maine, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, and Mitt Romney of Utah. I guess we can call them the usual suspects. Murkowski and Romney announced their support for Jackson, a judge on the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals for Washington, D.C., as the procedural vote was taking place. Quote, "My support rests on Judge Jackson's qualifications, which no one questions, her demonstrated judicial independence, her demeanor and temperament, and the important perspective she would bring to the court as a replacement for Justice Breyer," Murkowski said. She will bring to the Supreme Court a range of experience from the courtroom that few can match, given her background in litigation. In a statement published on Twitter, Romney said Jackson is a, quote, well-qualified jurist and a person of honor who more than meets the standard of excellence and integrity. Monday night's vote means Jackson is all but guaranteed to be confirmed to a lifetime appointment as the first Black woman on the Supreme Court. The outcome reflects what is likely to be the final tally for a confirmation vote, which is expected later in the week. That's awesome news. So I think when we get together on Friday, guys, we'll have a brand new Supreme Court justice, and she will be the first Black woman Supreme Court justice in the history of the United States of America. It cannot be understated how important that will be. It's going to be a good day. I'm looking forward to that. It's weird that we are having these conversations in 2022 about people being the first of anything anymore, but it will be profound. And I hope, man, I hope it happens on Friday. I would love to, or tomorrow. That would be fun. I would love to be here with you guys when it does. That would be really cool. So guess who's going to court, whether she wants to go or not? Well, not court, but after months of negotiating, I had something smart to say. I'm not going to do that. Ivanka Trump, the eldest daughter and former senior advisor to former President Donald Trump, will meet today with the White House January 6th committee investigating the Capitol attack. She will meet with committee members remotely. Her meeting comes after months of negotiations with the panel, according to sources. A committee spokesperson declined to comment on witness appearances. Ivanka Trump was one of a small handful of aides who was with President Trump inside the White House's West Wing as the Capitol was under attack following his speech to supporters on the morning of January 6, 2021. And this report comes to you courtesy of ABC News. Retired General Keith Kellogg, who served as Vice President Mike Pence's national security advisor, testified before the committee that he was with Ivanka Trump in the Oval Office when President Trump called Pence and attempted to persuade him to overturn the election results. It only makes me laugh because it's so ridiculous that How is this man not in jail? How is she not in jail? I guess we'll find out sooner or later. Yeah, I didn't think this was going to happen. This is an interesting development. Bliss, I don't know how closely you're following this, but imagine, how about this, man? If I would have told you in 2016, was it? Or 17? If I'd have told you that, you know, at the end of this man's first term, he's going to try to have a coup and overthrow the government of the United States with the help of the wife of a Supreme Court justice, his child's husband, various senators, and members of the House of Representatives. Would you have believed me?
No.
Of course not. You know why you wouldn't? Because it sounds crazy.
Yeah, it does sound crazy. I mean, it's the kind of thing that I was afraid of during that election cycle. It's one of the reasons why I was like, dude, this guy's he was born with a silver spoon and became basically a rich reality star. Like, people talk about his business, chops, but I don't know. That's questionable if you go back and look at his career. I mean, he basically had a lot of money from the start. Some successes, some failures, but yeah, it was the kind of thing I was worried about. Yeah, but you're right. That would even seem too far-fetched for probably me to be that worried about.
And then if I told you all of that and then said to you that a group of angry ruralists and crazy people, primarily white folks, were going to go to the Capitol building with Confederate flags, and a Confederate flag hadn't been in that building since slavery. And they're going to destroy the Capitol. They're going to have guns. Somebody's going to steal the Speaker of the House's podium. Some dude's going to have antlers on his head, and the guy's going to sit at her desk and steal her mail. You probably wouldn't believe that either. Yet all of it happened.
Probably not. No.
Although
I will say that was almost less. I mean, it was so shocking to see it happen, but those people we're talking about have been at the back of my mind for a long time now. I feel like that's been coming. Yeah. And if you want to put a date on it, you could probably say, I don't know, around 2008, because there's a lot of people that think a certain way since Barack Obama became president.
Yeah.
And my brother-in-law, he always kind of talks about, like the fact that he knew that there was, he grew up in a pretty conservative, small town, Christian town. And, he talks about the fact that he knew that there were people out there like that. Some of those people are people that are the kind of people he grew up around, but he didn't realize there was so many of them. And that's, how far they were willing to take things. And it's kind of shocking when you think about it.
They did the impossible, because I don't think, look, I was at the Million Man March. I think we've had this conversation before. The last thing that anybody was thinking about, and I mean anybody, was trying to overthrow the United States government on that day. Like, no one. But these people had a plan, and they had been planning it all along and telling people, January 6th is going down. And the rest of the world was like, meh, okay, whatever. And they did it almost.
Yeah.
An incompetent leader can't lead incompetent people.
And luckily, I think those people are a minority to an extent, but they definitely sure exist, and they've been emboldened over the last 5-6 years. And I think for me, that's one of the things that I didn't appreciate about Donald Trump as a president is I don't, my kids, they hear things that he says, they know about things that he's said publicly, and to try to explain like why someone who's supposed to kind of set the tone for our great country, the person that's basically the face of our great country, to be saying things like where he's diminishing other people and those kind of things. It was a hard thing to navigate through, because it's one thing for you and I as adults to be able to, make our own opinions, and just like everybody else can have their own opinions, but to have kids, not understanding, like, why is he saying that? Like, why would he
Right.
say that about somebody?
Mm.
That part was probably the hardest thing for me. So I understand that those people are out there, but it is it's been a crazy 5 or 6 years, and just because he wasn't reelected doesn't mean that he didn't do something that is probably here for a long time to stay. And
Or that is any less crazy.
People. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Those people just feel more, more powerful to do and be like who they are in supporting him.
And then when you think about it, now we're talking about his, first of all, the relationship the man has with his daughter. We could have a whole 2-hour show about how creepy and weird that is. Yes. But she was a senior White House executive. She was a senior White House official. A senior White House official who was with him in that room the day that all the logs stopped working. And we can't find a phone call from him, except we know that he talked to Pence and some other folks. She knows everything. She was telling him to tell them to stop. She knows it all. Her testifying, I hate that she's not testifying in person. I wish that they could have had a chance to read her body language and just get a look at her face and see her in person. But the fact that she's testifying does not bode well for her father. And again, we all know if he has to testify, he's going to tell everything because he can't shut up to save his damn life. He cannot be quiet.
That'll be good TV, though.
Oh, I want it to happen so bad. That's who I want to see talk. I don't care about it.
I want to see him arguing with Congress.
You guys don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything. I did it all. I wasn't even in DC on January 6th, but I led a parade on January 6th in DC. That's him. I don't know what you're talking about. I never heard of a coup, but I tried to do one on January 6th. They're going to get him. I promise they're going to get him. And those dudes with the alphabets on their back, they're going to come and get him. And they're going to walk his ass out and walk him into a jail. And we're all going to watch it. I promise we're all going to watch it. Are you one of those people like me that takes a lot of steps and monitors them on like your watch or your phone like I do?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have good news for you. And I've been trying to subscribe to this, and I have to do better. But if you want to live longer, take a hike, a shorter one than you've been told. The mortality risk was reduced by 50% for older adults who increased their daily steps from around 3,000 to around 7,000, according to new medical research. 7,000 is the new 10,000 in terms of steps you should shoot for, the Lancet Medical Journal reported. This is all it takes for those 60 and older to dramatically increase their lifespans. Even for younger adults, the benefits of daily walking actually level off around 9,000 steps per day, not 10,000, the researchers found. The risk reduction plateaued beyond that number. Walking benefits nearly every cell in the body, says Amanda Pollock, help me. God, I can't spell or read. A kinesiologist. Shut up, Gliss. Leave me alone. And public health expert at UMass Amherst and the lead author of the study. Kinesiologist. Would someone... Oh, God, hold on.
Unfortunately, I'm terrible at these medical terms. Anybody else in my family could help you.
I'm gonna get it.
They all work in healthcare, and every time everybody's together, it's like all they talk about. But yeah, it's not. I'm not going to be the one to help you with that.
Well, we got to do this before we move on. K-I-N. You got that part. E-S-I. Hold on, almost there. I'm consulting Webster's Dictionary. S-I-O. S-I-O. There we go. All right, and let me turn my phone up and let's see.
Kinesiology.
Thank you, a kinesiologist. And public, one more time. It's the wrong word. Thank you, but this is the
Kinesiology.
I think you had it the first
a
time.
kinesiologist and public health expert at UMass Amherst and the lead author of the study. I have to keep the dictionary open all the time now. That's a good show move. Make a mental note. It's wildly effective. Walking strengthens your heart, improves bone density, relaxes your mind, and helps with muscle building and pain management. Almost everyone can do it anywhere, your house, the office, outside. Start with 30 minutes and work your way up. It's not an all or nothing situation, says Pollock. Even just boosting daily step counts to 5,000 for 60 and older and 7,000 for younger folks slashed mortality risk by 40%. Most of us can track our steps with our phones. If you have a smartphone, you likely already have a health app that's counting them. If you want deeper insights, you can download a step tracking app. And most of us have the ability to add some extra steps to our days with quick decisions like taking the stairs instead of the elevator. I live on the 8th floor, not doing it, or calling into a meeting on a walk. That's not totally true. I take the steps. I'm not scared of steps. Any number of steps you can add helps. How about that? So, Bliss, all this time, I'm talking about I need to get my steps. I actually do need to get my steps.
You're overdoing it.
Yeah.
That's it's always good news when something health related like that, the number comes down to where everybody thought it was before.
Because I know that in my working life in the music venue, 10,000 steps a day was nothing. That was super easy because we essentially are walking all day in a gigantic circle, getting miles in. Not working there so much anymore. I have to pick my steps. So tonight, when the show's over, although I have a meeting right after, I'm going to the take a walk.
There you go.
Get some steps. Soft Goose. Soft Goose is here. Christy, Fragile Wombat, Graceful Cheetah, Different Perch is here. Tete says, good point. Let's spend some time predicting what will happen during the 2028 presidency. We ain't got to wait that long. Well, because I can tell you what I think is going to happen. I think Ron DeSantis is going to run. I think Biden's going to be convinced to not run. I think you may find a third-party person that's going to be a little bit stronger than any of these other candidates that appeals to people like me and you. And I think that the Republicans are going to do everything they can to push this crazy agenda. Not all Republicans, but most of them, to continue to push this weird agenda where being aware makes you a bad person and being mediocre and weak makes you a great person. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm just saying that's probably what's going to happen. So, yeah, we don't have to wait long. We don't have to wait till 2028. No, we can start talking about that right now. Yeah. So, okay. Didn't mean to go back and forth. Take the steps. That's what I'm saying. Get your steps. Get all your steps. What are you laughing at, Gliss?
Oh, nothing.
Yes, you are. What was it? I missed something on the chat.
I just liked how you closed that out. Just get your steps.
Just get your steps, kids.
The point is,
get your steps. I know I went to another place, but get your steps.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because God knows, 7,000.
No,
7,000.
Put a bow on it.
That's right. Hey, tie it up. Get pulling out every trick that I know. Tie up that story you were talking about a moment ago. Get your steps, kids. We got to get that more noise just to tie up our stories.
I didn't put that.
Don't worry about it. I know you got it. I didn't know that there were missing notebooks from Charles Darwin just in somebody's basement, but apparently priceless notebooks belonging to Darwin, one containing his famous Tree of Life sketch, mapping his theory of natural selection, have been mysteriously returned to Cambridge University. Why is this funny to me? More than 20 years after they went missing. The university launched an appeal to get the notebooks back in 2020 in partnership with antique book experts, local police, and Interpol, the International Policing Agency. And to the astonishment of staff at the university's library on March 9th, the notebooks were returned, wrapped in plastic and left in a bright pink gift bag with no obvious signs of damage. They were left outside the librarian's office on the fourth floor of the grand 17-story library building, the university said earlier today. There was no clue as to who returned the books, just a message inside a brown envelope that read, "Librarian, Happy Easter, X." My sense of relief, I'm sorry, that really said that. My sense of relief at the notebook's safe return is profound and almost impossible to adequately express, Cambridge University librarian Jessica Gardner said. They may be tiny, just the size of postcards, but the notebook's impact on the history of science and their importance to our world-class collections here cannot be overstated. The famous Tree of Life sketch dates to the summer of 1837. We were there when Darwin, when Darwin had recently returned from his trip on board HMS Beagle more than 20 years before the publication of On the Origin of Species. The notebooks are known in evolutionary biology as the transmutation notebooks, as they are considered the first point at which Darwin came up with the theory of how species could transmute or adapt and change through generations. Objects such as these are crucial for our understanding of not only the history of science, but the history of humankind, said Stephen J. Toop, Vice Chancellor at the University of Cambridge. Doesn't the University of Cambridge have a lot of artifacts from Africa that they stole and they never gave back? I don't care about this book. I'm just saying. And not just Africa. Don't they have stuff from India that they stole that they've never given back? Stupid book. And then whoever had it, X, should have kept it. Should have kept it and published it, like made t-shirts out of the stuff that Darwin said on the boy, Mario, you're mean. And then I'd have been done. I mean, I'm not diminishing the fact that they returned these books. Good on them. But let's talk about the stuff that they've stolen. That university. If you watch Black Panther, that was a real thing when he was talking about the artifacts that had been stolen and stealing them back. But I don't want to do all that. And I think you might be interested in this. You see how I'm segueing to stuff that there are recordings that have not been heard in 100 years that may be of interest to you. Before audio playlists, before cassette tapes, for records, there were wax cylinders, the earliest mass-produced way people could both listen to commercial music and records and record themselves. In the 1890s, they were a revolution. People slid blank cylinders onto their Edison phonographs or shaved down the wax on commercial cylinders and recorded their families, their environments, themselves. Jessica Wood, assistant curator for music and recorded sound at the New York Public Library for the Performing Arts, said, "When I first started here, it was a format I didn't know much about, but it became my favorite format because there's so many unknowns and it's impossible to discover things that haven't been heard since they were recorded. They haven't been heard because the wax is so fragile. The earliest putty-colored cylinders deteriorate after only a few dozen listens if played on the Edison machines. They crack if you hold them too long in your hand, and because the wax tubes themselves were unlabeled, many of them remain mysteries. They could be people's birthday parties," Wood said, "recordings that could tell us more about the social history of time, or they could be the Star-Spangled Banner or something incredibly common." She laughed. I really hope for people's birthday parties. Did you like my laugh, my interpretation of? Never mind. She's particularly curious about a box of unlabeled cylinders she found on a storage shelf in 2016. All she knows about them is what's on the outside or the inside of the box. Come on, learn how to read. Gift of Mary Dana to the New York Public Library in 1935. And it goes on, but I'm wondering, they say it's going to take a couple of years to digitize all the cylinders. And then they're going to make them available for everybody to be able to listen to. I hope it's nothing like, what if there's something just outlandishly racist on these cylinders? That's just so horrible and awful. People shouldn't have to listen to that. I think it would be cool if it was like baseball games and stuff, or, I don't know. Cool stuff. By the way, Gliss, remember yesterday we were talking about the mob hitman that just up and walked away?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he got caught. He was captured near Miami. It's not funny. An aging mob hitman who escaped from federal custody when he failed to return to a halfway house near Orlando last week was recaptured near Miami. The U.S. Marshal Service said Dominic Tadeo, 64, was apprehended without incident by U.S. Marshals and members of a regional fugitive task force at about 11 a.m. in Hialeah, a city in Miami-Dade County, officials said. He failed to return March 28th to his assigned residential reentry center in the city of Wildwood after an authorized medical appointment, the Marshal Service said. Its statement described Tadeo as a mobster who escaped federal custody by walking away from a halfway house near Orlando. His failure to return prompted the U.S. Bureau of Prisons to place him on escape status. It's not clear what he was doing in Hialeah, which is 273 miles south of his assigned housing. I tell you what he was doing. He was escaping. What the hell do you mean? What was he doing? He was leaving. He was trying to get out of there. How much you want to bet he acted like I don't know. Where am I? The marshals come. He's like, hi, who are you? Who am I? What day is it? I don't know where I'm going, because that would have been me. He was convicted of federal racketeering in the 90s and pleaded guilty to weapons offenses, drug crimes, and enterprise corruption, among other offenses, the Marshal Service said. Yeah, I would have played the dum-dum. You would have never. I got dementia, Alzheimer's, all kinds of things. Just out here, not knowing nothing. That's me. And that's the community report. How are we doing on Mr. Scott? Coming up, or are we going to go right into community report? I mean, we'll be going into the community report, Gliss, after this.
Yeah. Community report. I think we'll probably, I think he's going to be around 2:15. 2:10, 2:15.
Okay, I don't know how to tell time. Let's see. It's 3:42 here.
Yeah, that's right. You're 2 hours ahead of me.
1.
So.
All right, so yeah, I got you. I think I know now.
10:15 next hour. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And I operate in military time, so I have to do it all different. Oh God, I didn't check on the people in the chat, and I love doing that. Gray alligator, goldfinch. Goldfinch is here. Will, hello, Will. Caleb, mute pelican. Mute pelican in Utah. Goldfinches in Washington, by the way. Gray alligators in North Dakota. Wills in Arizona. Mute pelican, Utah. Day in New York. That's my goddaughter's name. Major caterpillar. Salute has joined the stream. I don't know. I'm just gonna roll with it, brother. Whatever they say, man. I'm with it. I'm with it.
So
all.
I've been curious about this. I almost want to take my volley thing or my back channel thing off and try to do it again, because I want to see what this process is where you can choose these names.
Yeah, because I'm kind of curious as to how people come up with these names too.
To my understanding, it's something that was implemented to make it easier for people so they don't get misunderstood as easily.
Okay, I can see that.
So which makes sense, but it makes me curious to try it for myself. Like I want to know how the process works of becoming a ultra fly or a gray alligator.
Tay said he's going to change his name right now. I cannot wait for you to meet this dude, man. He is such a cool guy. I cannot wait. That's gonna be fun when you guys. Oh, that's gonna be extra fun. Oh, he said it didn't work. Oh man. So is it like color and animal or pronoun?
I don't know.
Or adjective and animal.
Do some detective work. Actually, you know what? I have an email somewhere. I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna read through it so that I can remember what it is that they're talking about.
I am so curious. This is taking over the show now. I don't even really care about the rest of it except for Dale and you. I just want to know, how is this happening? Because these names are good. How do you, do I have an option? Because if I have an option, I'm taking Mario Smith off the drive with Frisky Cantaloupe. I don't know. Something silly. Let's take a break, man, so we can do the community report before Tay
All right.
gets mad because that's his favorite segment. And when we come back, we'll have the community report for you. And we're doing it all today. Mr. Dale Scott, former Major League Baseball umpire, will be joining us later on this afternoon on The Drive. We'll be back right after these words. You're watching The Drive on Backchannel.tv, YouTube, and listening to us on your Amazon-supported devices. Be right back. Welcome back, everybody. This is The Drive here on Backchannel.tv. I had to adjust, get it together. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you all. It is so far so good. 47 minutes in. Okay, Tay has news. He said, I'm going to delete his history. He did. His name's now Skirt. His name is now Skirt. Hey, Mark is back. Ooh. All right. What a day. Skirt. Mark is here from Georgia. Dinar is here in Sahana. I don't know where that is.
Mark.
Yeah, Mark's back.
I haven't heard from him in a while. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, and I did some research. So yeah, there is. It's kind of a testing thing. So it's not like there's a random name generator.
Okay.
To take a little bit of the burden off of the people that are trying to get in to comment and all that stuff, so they don't so that way you're not like saying your name's one thing and she keeps telling you it's something else and you getting frustrated.
Right. Makes sense. Okay. I just wanted to know because that's all weird, and the weirder it is, the far more abusive it can be, I guess. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Mark says boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. Mark's back. Yeah, of course he did. We weren't expecting anything different. Mark's back. That's very comforting. Good old Mark is back. Mm-hmm. But I'm still bugging on Skirt. He changed his name to Skirt. Not skirt like dress skirt either, but like the sound skirt. Those are my friends, man. Those are my friends. Let's take a look at the community report. Some interesting things have happened around the United States. A man who was wounded in a mass shooting in Sacramento this past weekend was arrested today and accused of taking part in the mayhem. Authorities. Smiley Martin, 27, was, quote, located at the scene with serious injuries from gunfire, close quote, and taken to the hospital where he was, quote, quickly identified as a person of interest, close quote, according to a Sacramento police statement. He's the brother of the first suspect taken into custody, authorities in California's capital city said, and remains under guard at the hospital. Once Martin is well enough to leave the hospital, he'll be booked into jail on suspicion of possession of a firearm by a prohibited person and possession of a machine gun, police said. The first suspect, 26-year-old DeAndre Martin, was arrested early yesterday and booked on assault and illegal firearm possession charges, police said. The shooting left 6 people dead and 12 wounded and occurred in a bustling downtown near 10th and K Streets shortly after last call early Sunday morning. Investigators believe multiple shooters opened fire in the wake of a large fight that spilled into the streets and covered several city blocks. The two suspects have not been formally accused of homicide, but police said detectives are still actively working the case and interviewing witnesses. As these processes occur, different and or additional charges may apply, police said. The Sacramento County District Attorney's Office will be reviewing all evidence to determine appropriate charges. Wow. So the guy that was doing the shooting got shot himself, and now he's going to go to jail and maybe be charged with homicide. Amazing. As a person that lives in a high rise, this kind of put the fright in me too today. Residents were ordered to evacuate an apartment building in North Miami Beach, Florida, after engineers found the 5-story structure unsafe months after the deadly condominium building collapsed in nearby Surfside. A firm the owners of Bayview 60 Homes hired to help bring the building up to regulation for its coming 50-year recertification alerted officials to its assessment Monday. City manager Arthur Suri said the structure, built in 1972, had passed its 40-year recertification inspections. In a letter written Friday and received Monday by city building officials, structural engineer Bronislaus B. Torinsky said his firm had found excessive deflection or sagging in concrete slabs on the building's second and third floors. Therefore, it is my responsibility to inform you that the building structure is structurally unsound and must be evacuated immediately, Torinsky wrote. A certain amount of deflection in a building's concrete slabs is normal, but too much can be a sign that the building is unsafe, engineering experts said in interviews. Unsafe amounts of deflection often also include cracking, said Rick Slider, a South Florida. Are these people's real names? I'm just curious because that's Rick Slider. Really? That's a radio name. That's not a real name. That's a made-up radio name. I bet he did a college radio show, Gliss. I bet he did. I bet Rick Slider. Hey, everybody, what's happening? It's Rick Slider. Bet you $1 million. And it was rock format, too. So he's playing. Anyway. I bet you I'm right. I bet you I'm right, man. $1 million, I bet. Rick Slider. Have you ever heard of any last name of Slider?
Can't think that I...
You haven't, sir, because all the Rick Sliders you know work overnights at Rock 101, and they are out here selling the classic rock format. Rick Slider. Torinsky's letter doesn't mention whether his firm found cracking. The city is working with the owner to ensure that all residents will receive proper assistance as they relocate within the next 24 hours. That is something I live in a building that is concrete. And I mean, it's a different situation. We're not on a beach, but I'm a little like, yo, is this building? I even asked, how secure is this joint? Right? Is it going to sag? Is it going to fall down? Are we going to be okay? I get a little nervous. And it doesn't take much for me to get nervous either. So, good luck to those folks in Florida. Good thing that they evacuated them before something tragic happened. By the way, the tenants will be compensated for the next 3 nights at up to $150 per night, and they'll be refunded their April rent and security deposits by the building's owners. They got to leave that building. They got to go find new places to live. Do they get to take their stuff? Abby's here. Weary Spider is here. Skirt is an old nickname from high school. I did not know that about you. And again, Boots and Cats and Boots and Cats and Boots and Cats from Mark, who goes on dates at the age of 11. Thank you, Mark. And I got to be mindful too, Gliss, man. We have a lot of kids that are plug in, so I can't be out here just freaking out. And I didn't see this. You put this in here. Oh, what? In Chicago's suburbs? Get out of here. How do you find this stuff? I live here and I didn't even see this. American buffalo seen roaming Chicago's suburbs.
He's back.
Of course, his name is Tyson the Bison.
Tyson.
Of course it is. It's of course his name is Tyson the Bison. Only here, man. Only here. I swear to God. Only here. This is the weirdest place I've ever been in my life. An American buffalo is keeping people in Chicago's northern suburbs on their toes, as if they don't have enough to worry about up north. One resident in Hawthorne Woods, oh man, that's a very nice part of the state, recently captured footage of a oh my God, he's just running. Can you show this, please? He's just walking around like a dog, like hi, I'm a buffalo. How did a buffalo get loose? What? Holy smoke. He's just walking around people's neighborhood? And it's a she. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to misidentify you, Buffalo. Yeah, Lake County is where like a lot of athletes live, like a lot of just people with a fair amount of money live in Lake County. So I can only imagine them seeing a buffalo just walking around. Why did they call it Tyson if it's a she? Oh God, do I have to do everything? I'm gonna have to go and call these people at NBC5 Chicago and tell them that's not it. Okay. Vince Clemens noticed the giant animal outside his home Friday, and his daughter Michelle captured video of the buffalo just minding its own business. Vince Clemens told NBC5 Chicago, I looked outside and saw the buffalo walking down the street. She broke free from a farm months ago and is no stranger to people in the northwest suburbs. The wayward animal's identity hasn't been confirmed, but some wonder if it's Tyson the Bison. Tyson escaped last September while being unloaded at her new home at a farm in unincorporated Wakanda. Since then, she's been seen in the area numerous times. The Lake County Sheriff's Office previously warned suburban residents not to approach Tyson, but if you do, call the police. Can you imagine you just came home, you're off of like a bender, and then you go walking around in your nice suburban neighborhood and you look up, it's a giant buffalo just kicking it. You think you died. You would lose your mind. So if anybody's watching from the ridiculously wealthy northern suburbs of Chicago and you see a giant buffalo, do yourself a favor and run, because that buffalo is coming to get you. Let's take a break here so we can get some of this entertainment stuff in before we welcome in Dale Scott, because this Prince thing is just going wild all over the internet. And I don't know if anybody cares, but Britney Spears is writing a book. Somebody will read it. And it's probably, I don't want to disparage any Britney fans. Whew. That book should be interesting. I have nerve to talk. I need to write a book too. This is The Drive with Mario Smith here on Backchannel.tv. Thank you to all our pastors for watching. We'll be right back with the entertainment report right after these words. Hey everybody, I completely forgot that there's another part of the show, like the whole second hour of the show. I just skipped a full 10 minutes. My bad. Welcome to the top of the hour. This is The Drive here on Backchannel.tv, and you're watching us also on YouTube and checking us out on your Amazon supported devices. My name is Mario Smith. I am broadcasting live from Chicago, Illinois. If you're watching this later or in the future, it is April 5th, 2022. My voice sounds abnormally deep today. I am not quite sure why. I do like it. and I'm going to try to keep it going as long as I can because normally I sound like a high-pitched teenager. I'm a very old man. Joining me from Portland, Oregon is my friend Jake Gliss. Hello, Gliss. How are you today, sir?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, look at you. How you doing?
Oh,
I like the split screen. I like this. This is yeah.
Caught me off guard.
Oh,
Usually
I'm sorry.
Usually I'm like in this little tiny box down here.
Yeah, so. I don't like that. I like the yeah. We can see each other.
That's true.
Get a good look. How you doing, pal? I should be in the tiny box. I should be in the box that makes the screen bigger. I should have my face in that tiny box right there on the corner.
No, we need you up front and center. You got your name on. You got your name on this thing. So
I do have my name on it. Every now and then I have to go, oh, you know what? My name is on this. All
That's right.
I gotta take charge.
Why my only job is to try to not make you look bad. So
I know you do a wonderful job. You do a wonderful job. And Gary T says we should keep the split screen. Look at Gliss jump right out of that. It's like, nope.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I don't have a problem with that. I'm sending a little email here to make sure that Dale gets here and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, let's do some of this. Well, the headlines basically, and I'll just sum it up for you quickly. If you owe student loan debt, you've been extended until August 31st. That was supposed to end in May, but you don't have to worry about that now. The Biden administration has done you a solid. And the other story is, well, I guess the one that's most important to me is Shanghai is still on lockdown, and they're expanding their lockdown. No one has died from the BA2 variant in Shanghai yet, but officials fear the worst. They call it grim, and they also say that it's lethal, it's highly contagious, but not deadly. We'll hold on to those things for later. Should we just go into the entertainment report, Gliss? Or do you want to take another break? Let's just go into it.
Yeah, you can just go into it.
Yeah, let's just go into it. You know. Bill O'Reilly, that whole situation, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell. Nothing, never mind. No, another lead weighted joke that just died. Poof. Prince made a bunch of history in his life as an adult, but WCCO in Minneapolis, Minnesota, has uncovered footage of Prince at 11 years old, and it was filmed in 1970, and it was during a school strike, a public school teacher strike, and one of the kids that got interviewed was Prince. WCCO production manager Matt Liddy found out about the restored footage and decided to screen it. He said he grew up in Minneapolis, so all he cared about was looking at cool old buildings from the place he grew up. Did he recognize his old school? Did he recognize landmarks? But then guess who he recognized? Prince. Holy cow. Why is this man yelling? And this Prince tape has been going crazy on the internet, super viral. And Prince is very articulate and elegant as he speaks about the school strike. And he says that the teachers should get more money. Even then, Prince was fighting for the people. My man. Good stuff. Good stuff from Prince. And Britney Spears is writing a book. Now, I don't know how you feel about Britney Spears. I'm not against her. I'm for her. I think that she is awesome. And I hope that she goes on to do great things. But her I'm more interested in Dale Scott's book than I am in Britney Spears' book. But she's writing her memoirs. She told the fans that the process was actually healing and therapeutic. That's good. Britney Spears confirmed today or yesterday that she's writing a book weeks after reports first circulated that she was doing such. Spears, 40, revealed the news to her Instagram followers after some appeared to express confusion about why she was discussing her past in recent posts. Later on Monday evening, the posts were unavailable and appeared to have been deleted. And she said, well, I'm writing a book at the moment, and as it's actually healing and therapeutic, it's also hard bringing up past events in my life, she wrote. Spears says she's taking the time to address moments that she hadn't expressed her thoughts about openly, adding that she wasn't comfortable having such conversations in the past. But it's time to talk about it, she said on Monday. Why do I say this? Well, because I never felt heard ever. I was screaming inside, and no matter what I said, it was always looked down on. Okay, who's publishing this? Who's publishing it? It doesn't say. Okay, I am vaguely interested in it. Vaguely interested. Proud Zebra's here. Sue's here. How you guys? Mark asked a question, Gliss. You might be able to help answer. He says, have I ever listened to Original Prankster? Do I know what that is?
That's a good question. I guess not.
I've never heard of it.
Me either.
So Mark would be no. I don't know what it is. And I'm leaning over my desk to appear authoritative so I can report these stories to you with some authority. Now I sit back up, keep myself in the screen here as we await Dale Scott. I have time for one more. Okay. Yay, dropping out of Coachella. I know everyone cares. There was a death, and we did not report it yesterday, and I apologize for not doing that. AJ Crimson, entrepreneur, and by all accounts, a super cool dude, passed away on last week Wednesday, I'm sorry. The artist and entrepreneur who originally hailed from Detroit, worked with high-profile names, including Regina King, Missy Elliott, Angela Bassett, Raven Simone, Hilary Duff, and Fergie, and many, 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 many others. Worked on movies and all that stuff. He was an amazing makeup artist. I have a friend that does makeup on one of the shows filmed here in Chicago, and she's all broke up about this brother's death. We as a family are heartbroken and devastated by his passing, but thankful for the lessons that he laid on each of us with his truth, directness, and leadership, Crimson's family said in a statement shared with NBC News. Agent Crimson was a makeup industry leader that set a standard of beauty that was elevated, beautiful, and accessible to people of all color, the statement said. We thank you all for your kind words, tweets, and posts, as AJ was an inspiration to us as much as he was a bright light to the rest of the world. There are no words that can sum up his whole until we meet again. AJ Crimson, trying to find out how old he was. It doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say. But yeah, AJ Crimson, man. Those folks in the industry are tore up about that still. And condolences and all that to his family and his friends. How we looking, Gliss? No? Yeah. Yeah. No, not me. I mean, I'm me. I know I look good. And your notes are the same as my notes. Thank you. There you go. This is what's happening. Do a couple of these real quick before he gets here. I'll let you if he pops in early, I'll let you know, and we can do a quick break and then get him in here. Okay. I don't know where you find these. I'm not going to read the do you knows yet. That's just so good at the end. An airline passenger hacks the system to find missing luggage. A software engineer in India became impatient with customer service of Indigo flight when he mixed up his luggage with another traveler. He contacted customer service several days in a row, but all they would say was that they would get in contact with him after they made contact with the other traveler. I wondered, did he talk to someone in America? Ooh, slow burn. Oh. In frustration, the software engineer went to the airline's website, hit F12, and started researching. He found the passenger who had his luggage reached them by the contact information stored in the system, and they exchanged bags. After that, he contacted the airline and suggested they improve customer service and beef up their website since he was actually able to retrieve the information. That comes from India Today. Wow. Children will be allowed to play and walk alone outside in Colorado after a bill was signed into law by the governor. The law clarifies that children could play outside or walk to school without it being considered abuse or neglect. A previous law helped contribute to a record 221,000 calls to Colorado's child abuse hotline last year for neglect, while only 13,289 of those were found to have been viable. The bill signed into law by Colorado's governor clarifies that a child is not neglected when allowed to participate in certain independent activities that a reasonable and prudent parent, guardian, or legal custodian would consider safe, given the child's maturity, condition, and abilities like playing outside or walking to school alone. Wow, that's crazy. And then there's another one, but we'll hold on to that too.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's go break.
Okay, cool. Let's take a break. Sounds like a plan because I don't know what I'm doing anymore. We'll be back in a moment with more of The Drive with Mario Smith here on Backchannel.tv. Back right after these words. Welcome back, everybody. It's The Drive with Mario Smith. Here I am. I'm glad that you all are here with us today. Joining us on the show now via Zoom, I take it, is former Major League umpire Dale Scott. Dale Scott is the author of a new book called The Umpire is Out, Calling the Game and Living My True Self. It's on sale now, and you can get it wherever books are available. And I read some of it, and it's a dope book. I am really excited to have Dale Scott with us today. How you doing, Mr. Scott? Nice to meet you.
I am just doing great, Mary. It's so nice to meet you, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Before we start, I just want to say something and be very, very just super honest with you. I totally forgot that you had came out. I was more about, I knew you as an umpire. I was really excited about, I'm like, Dale Scott, umpire. And then I kept going, why is his name outside of being an umpire sounds so familiar to me? And it's because you did a really great job being an umpire. I watch a lot of stupid baseball, like an amount that's probably not healthy for someone that's not playing the game. And you were always solid with your call. And I was talking earlier, it never felt like with some umpires, Angel Hernandez, it feels like there's an advantage when an umpire calls a game for one team or another, or it just doesn't seem like it's being called with any kind of without any kind of balance. But you did such a good job as an ump, man. And I just wanted to tell you that I totally 1,000,000% forgot all about the coming out part.
Well, first of all, just keep going. You were saying I appreciate that. As an umpire, you have moments that things don't work out as well as you would hope. But that's certainly a compliment when somebody says they remember you as an umpire and they don't remember any issues with it. So that's a good thing.
When you called 3,897 baseball games, but I want to go back to your first game that did not go so well, and you talk about this a little bit in some of the research that I did. What happened the first game?
Well, my first game was 1985. I was not under contract yet. I had worked spring training. I was under option with the American League, and I was in Omaha and told that I would be going up to Kansas City for one game. Working third base. It was a makeup game with Detroit and the Royals. I'd just be filling in one game and be right back to AAA. So okay, I was very excited. I found out a few days before, so it wasn't one of those last minute got to jump on a plane kind of thing. So I got to think about it a little bit. They told me to just take my base gear, which I did, And I got there, and I was trying to show the crew that I was very confident, and no problem. Although inside it was like, ooh, this is my first game.
Right.
And in fact, I was putting on my undershirt before my uniform shirt, and Jim Evans was the crew chief, and he said, "So you're not nervous?" And I said, "No, I feel good, Jim." He goes, "Well, then, do you always wear your T-shirt backwards?" And I had put it on backwards, so that was kind of a clue. I said, "Well, I'm setting the trends here, Jim." But what was really funny is after we went out on the field and did the lineups, and of course. Sparky Anderson and Dick Hauser, and they both knew my name, which I thought was pretty impressive until I figured out that they know my name because it's on the lineup card in the dugout with the other three umpires' names. But so then I run out to third base, and here come the Royals coming out to warm up before the game begins. And George Brett's playing third, right? And I'm just kind of looking around, Kauffman Stadium at the time, or Royal Stadium. I forget what it was named by then, back then, but just kind of taking it all in. All of a sudden I hear "Hey Dale, how you doing?" And I look over and it's George Brett, and he goes, "First game," and I looked down. I literally looked down at my pants like I had a wet spot. I thought, "Oh my God, isn't that obvious?" He starts laughing. He goes, "No, I just haven't seen you around, so I figured it was your first game." So I said,
Wow.
"Yeah, it is." And he said, "Welcome to the American League." So that was the entrance start of my career right there.
You famously, among the things that you've done as an umpire, you were the person to call Billy Martin out in his last game, or the last umpire to call Billy Martin out? How did that go?
I was the last umpire to eject him.
Wow.
In Memorial Day 1988. It was my third year. It was a game in Oakland, and it wasn't even my call actually, but he was managing the Yankees. It was a call at second base, a catch no catch on the leadoff hitter for the A's, Walt Weiss, and Rick Reed was the second base umpire. He had no catch, and from where I was, it was very close. I could not tell one way or the other, and so what Rick has, I have. So Billy came out and he was arguing with Rick, and doing what Billy does, and I'm just minding my own business, kind of standing on the side, and so of course I'm the young guy on the crew. Suddenly he looks over at me and he says, "Well, you saw him catch the ball." And I said, "Well, no, Billy, he trapped it." And he said, "Well, you're full of blah 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 blah." Okay, can't say that. So I ejected him, and he went off. Billy went off. He started trying to kick dirt on me, and the dirt. This was in the third inning. The dirt was still damp from when they water it down before the game.
Yeah.
Like two big kicks. You can't get any dirt to ball up and get on me. So he just bent down and picked it up and just threw it right on my chest. And so that was the last time he was ejected. He was suspended for 3 days. After that, he came back and managed for a couple of weeks. Didn't get ejected, and then George Steinbrenner fired him again. And he never managed again. So that I was the last, certainly not the first. A lot of guys in front of me, but I was the last.
A long line. Exactly. It's a very long line. And one last thing before we talk about the book, you suffered a fair amount of concussions, which led to you saying, I can't do this anymore. Is that an issue with umpires in the majors? And how is MLB dealing with something like that? Because if it's happening to you, and I've seen it happen many times where umpires get hit in their mask off a foul tip, although you talk about in the book how you got hit in the cup out in the field, which is almost impossible to do, but somehow it managed to happen.
I did it.
Is MLB, or have they tried to do something about concussions amongst the umpires, or how does that work exactly?
Yeah, well, it used to be before the 2000s. You get hit in the head and shot to the mask or whatever, and hey, shake it off, kid. Hey, you're seeing stars. It was like a joke, basically, and it was that way for years. But when the NFL started having some issues with players and the problems they were having with players that had concussion issues when they played and after they retired. Baseball guy immediately said, we got to be a little bit smarter on this. And so actually Major League Baseball was very proactive in the early 2000s as far as, all players and umpires with concussion protocols and concussion issues and continually trying to educate us and themselves as to what to do when you are hit. So I have to, praise them for that, because they really did all of a sudden, everybody was taking it seriously, but baseball really jumped on it. And so now if you see an umpire or a catcher or any player, if it's somehow a play at second or something and somebody gets whacked in the, a knee to the head or something, they're very cognizant that this is a serious issue, and the trainers and everything are very in tune that if there's any sign of, because a lot of times when a guy's concussed, you don't realize it. You think you're
Mhm.
okay. I mean, one of the times I went out, I remember it was early in the game, and I got hit pretty good, and my partners came down, the trainer, and I said no, I'm good, guys, I'm good. And I could see the look on their faces like. Oh, I know you're not, and I thought I was, but as it turns out, I wasn't. So they know the protocols, they know what's going on, and now, unlike what it used to be before the 2000s, if there's any question whatsoever that somebody might be concussed, boom, he's out of the game. They're taking him out.
We're with Dale Scott. Dale Scott is the author of the new book, The Umpire is Out, Calling the Game and Living My True Self. It is available wherever you get books. I definitely am going to get a copy of this because I have got to read the stories in this book. In 2014, you made the decision to publicly reveal that you were gay. And even though you made this decision public, many of your colleagues knew already. And
Right.
and I'm taking it that most players knew too.
Not so much the players.
Not so much the players, but your
Right.
colleagues that you
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's been what, 8 years since that happened. How is it for you now these days after making that big reveal that I had completely forgot about?
Well, the reveal was in December of 2014, so it wasn't during the baseball season. Like you said, my colleagues on the field, the rest of the umpire staff, they had known for quite a while, and as had the people I worked for. I worked for Major League Baseball, and the people on Park Avenue, as I used to say, although they're not on Park Avenue anymore. But they knew also. But it was news to the teams. It was news to the fans. It was news to the media, and but it happened in December, like I said. And the first game wasn't until March, spring training. So between December and March, quite frankly, I think however people might have had that in their consciousness, when it was a story for a day and a half or whatever, frankly, just forgot. I mean, one of the things I said when I was interviewed when I first came out in December, I said, a lot of questions about what do you think the reaction will be with the players and the managers and that kind of stuff. And I said, well, we'll find out, but I'm pretty sure that they are much more concerned about me getting pitches and plays right than what I do after the game. And that's basically what it was. When I went into the 2015 season, that entire season, I had 3 players, 1 base coach, and 1 trainer congratulate me. Just said, hey, congratulations. That took a lot of guts or whatever. That was it. No one else even brought it up. And it was basically business as usual, which is kind of what I thought would it be. But, you never know once you throw that out there. So, but everything was actually very, very positive.
What's the decision behind the timing to write the book now?
Well, Mario, I wasn't going to write a book. When I retired, there's several umpires have retired and written books, and they're funny and they've got some good stories and that kind of stuff. I just wasn't going to do that. I just had no desire to do that. But Rob Nyer, who helped me with this book, he also lives in Portland where I live. I had helped him with a book a few years earlier on some background information and stuff. And so we met for lunch because he was going to give me the copy of the book. And he said, hey, when are you writing yours? And I said, I'm not going to write a book, Rob. And he goes, well, if you wrote a book, I'd be the first one to read it. He said, you've got a story. I go, well, a lot of umpires have done the stories and the baseball stuff. No. He said, you have a story nobody else has. You have the baseball stuff, and I've got a bunch of it in the book, and it's funny, and I hope, and entertaining. But he said, you have a whole different story. And the more I thought about it, when I came out in 2014, I got over 200 emails from around the world, all very positive, but from so many walks of life, men and women. Some saying, hey, I'm not there yet, but your story gave me, one more step to getting out of this closet, or because of you, I've got the courage to tell my, people I work with, or those types of things that I was hearing. It was all very positive and all, and even people that were not gay, but they said, hey, I am so proud of you. I can now hope that my 2 daughters will grow up in a world where this won't even be news someday. And, because that's exactly what, would be nice. So anyway, Rob kind of talked me into, and me thinking about all those emails and the reaction I had into, maybe I will write a book. And so I asked him to to help me, which he gladly did, since I've never done an endeavor like this. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process. It was an education. It was a challenge, and I think we put out a pretty good book. I hope people enjoy it.
Did it serve as a bit of a catharsis for you to be able to write this book and get whatever you hadn't gotten off your chest, and to be able to write it down and see that and see what it meant to see your words on the page?
Yeah, it really was. I mean, regardless of what topic I was writing about, it was a World Series or the union issues we had in '99, or me coming out or growing up or whatever. It took me back to that time. I mean, because you are diving right back in with details. I had saved a lot of my old ejection reports, and during our labor issues in '99, I was on the board for a while, but I had a lot of notes and documents from then. So that helped refresh my memory. But I was like, when I would write, that chapter or whatever chapter, I was back there. I was back doing that. And it felt like I was, instead of 20 years ago or 25 years ago, it felt like last week. Yeah. And that was healing or a way to go through it again. Sometimes, sometimes it was good. Sometimes it was a little sad, or like our labor stuff was the lowest point in my career as far as that goes. But it was able to get that out and put it out on a page, and it really, it really did, feel good, and something that I'd never really experienced, because, like I said, I've never written a book.
Yeah. And I'm the little bit that I've read, I'm encouraging folks, please get that book. It is really good, and some very interesting stories. I haven't gotten to the part of the man in the Dominican yet. I want to read that section. I'm very excited to read that. And
I could probably write a whole book about the Dominican, quite frankly.
I bet you could. And I am very interested in the baseball anecdotes and stuff. And speaking of baseball, because Gliss and I both are humongous baseball fans, I believe that Gliss would move his family into Giant Stadium if he thought that he could do it. And I would probably live at Guaranteed Rate Fields, because I absolutely would do that.
Yeah.
Baseball season is coming up. Opening day is actually tomorrow and Thursday, or Thursday and Friday?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
And they have executed this with a shortened spring training. They're going to still try to get the 162 in. And there's a lot of worry about injuries, and we're seeing it already, particularly with my team, the White Sox. Guys are falling down left and right. Garrett Crochet's arm, he's out. He's going to get Tommy John. Lance Lynn, he's out. His knee may be worse than people think. And these injuries are like the Mets have been decimated with injuries. And I know you're not involved in a game like that anymore, but you're still close to it. What is your opinion of Major League Baseball starting when they did and saying we're going to get the 162 in instead of, and I can't remember what year it is off the top of my head, doing the 145? It was sometime in the 90s, like 95 maybe, when they had a shortened season. And to that end, would it be more advantageous for Major League Baseball, in order to attract fans, to maybe shorten the season and condense it a little bit, you think?
Well, they keep adding to the postseason, and something's got to give at some point, because when as in Chicago, and if this was a normal year, you're starting in March, late March, and places like Chicago and other, the northern part of the country, that's cold, it's wet, it could be snow. You're not drawing a lot of folks unless it's opening day. That always draws, but after that, those early few weeks. So I personally think they could shorten the season to maybe 154, like it used to be. They hate taking away those home dates and those and the money that's involved. But when you're expanding the playoffs like they are, and pretty soon you're going to be running the playoffs into November, just because of the amount of games. And again, you're getting into weather issues once you start doing that again, not to mention October. So, I could see them, you're making money on the back end with these expanded playoffs. I think maybe you could cut down 6-8 games, and have a little bit smaller, less games during the regular season. It makes sense, but we'll see what they do.
You can follow Dale Scott on Twitter at Dale Scott MLB5, which I just did. And before we spring you, man, first, thank you so much for doing this. This is really important to get your voice out here as we begin to start baseball season. And now I'll ask the ultimate question that I ask anybody that's affiliated with baseball. Who do you think on April the 5th is going to be in the World Series when they play? I guess it would be Christmas Day or New Year's Eve or whenever it's over.
They'll have it in between bowl games. Yeah, you know, as an umpire, I always am very neutral. I really don't know what I'm hoping, which I hope every time I watch a baseball game, especially in the postseason, is that there's no controversy, that the umpires get through that without anybody, claiming that they lost the game because of us, and that everything is smooth. That's what I always hope. So hopefully that'll happen the entire season. Knock on microphones, I guess. I don't know.
Dale Scott. The book is called The Umpire is Out, Calling the Game and Living My True Self. You can go to umpiredalescott.com. And again, you can follow him on Twitter at Dale Scott MLB5. Mr. Scott, I hope we get a chance to have you back sometime. And I really enjoyed having this conversation with you and hope to have others. If you're ever in Chicago, let me know. I will find a place where we can have beer. I think I know a couple of spots where beer is sold.
You got it, and hopefully I'm coming sometime this summer. So, but thank you very much for having me.
I just followed you on Twitter. We'll stay connected somehow. I'm sure of that.
You got it.
Thank you, Dale Scott, on the show today here on The Drive. Not bad at all. That was cool. Gliss, what do you think?
He's an interesting guy.
Very interesting. And that book, there's some sections we can't say any of the names.
I know. I told it, like, for real. I'm very excited to read this book. I mean, and especially if you're a baseball fan, like both of us are, someone who spent 30 years around the game, especially in that capacity, as someone that's, like in a neutral position where they're working with 2 Major League Baseball teams every single day. Yeah, man, 30 years, that's got to have some great stories in there.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure of that. And the ones that I read that I can't repeat were very interesting stories, to say the least. But we're glad that he was with us today. And thank you so much, Mr. Scott. We appreciate that. And hopefully we'll have him back on again sometime. As we get deeper into the baseball season and however this madness turns out, we'll have Dale Scott back on. And Gliss, we'll just run into sports, man. We can just keep it going. We don't have to do the intro. We can just
cool. Let's do it.
Yeah, Kansas won last night. I don't know if anybody saw that. Yeah, we go to sports. Kansas won last night. Oh, Kansas. Cold Kansas. If you saw Black Dynamite, you know what I'm talking about. Kansas won the national championship last night in a comeback against the University of North Carolina that I missed because I was at a concert, but people were, all through the venue. So congratulations to the University of Kansas. I believe that Bill Self has won his second national championship, and he's the only coach in the history of Kansas to win 2 national championships with Kansas. That should put him in the Hall of Fame. Hopefully, you would think, as a fan of Illinois, I would hope not, but probably nothing I can do about it now. And he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. So congratulations to the University of Kansas. Not sure if they got any NBA ready dudes on their team. I still don't know if those guys are ready. And he himself said he built the team to get old. So maybe next year we're talking about guys from Kansas being potential lottery picks and all that. Now, I'm willing to bet they're all going to come back if they're not seniors. And we'll see how that happens or how that goes down. Major League Baseball has suspended 80 people. I'm sorry. No, they didn't. That would be great, wouldn't it? Major League Baseball has given 4 MLB players, including Pedro Severino, the catcher for the Brewers, an 80-game PED suspension. And they issued those today. And Severino is very important to the Brewers. Major League Baseball announced performance-enhancing drug-related suspensions for 3 agents on Monday afternoon. Richard Rodriguez, Dan Santana, and Jose Rondon. Brewers catcher Pedro Severino has been disciplined for a similar offense. The 3 free agents were banned for 80 games after testing positive for the substance Boldenum, an anabolic androgenic steroid and synthetic derivative of testosterone that was originally developed for veterinary use, but has since become one of the more common enhancing drugs that athletes are positive for in sport, according to the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency. As for Severino, he also received an 80-game, but it was for clomipethine, according to MLB.com's Adam McCalvey. Severino released a statement. Oh, did he? He sure did. He said, I recently learned that I tested positive for clomipethine, or whatever it's called, a prohibited substance under Major League Baseball's Joint Drug Prevention and Treatment Program. Since late 2020, my wife and I had been trying to start a family unsuccessfully. When we returned to the Dominican Republic after the 2021 season, we sought medical assistance to determine why we had not succeeded. One of the doctors I consulted with prescribed me a medication to treat infertility issues. Unfortunately, I now know that the medication contained clomipethine. I accept responsibility for this mistake and have decided not to challenge my suspension. I have been a professional baseball player since I was 16 years old, and I have also been in the big leagues for parts of 7 seasons. I have been tested more than 100 times in my career, and I had never had an issue. In my attempt to start a family, I made a mistake. With that said, I want to apologize to the Milwaukee Brewers organization, the staff, my teammates, and our fans for letting you down. I hope you can accept me back in July, and we can have a great second half. Wow. Severino, 28, had been signed by Milwaukee this offseason to serve as the primary backup to Omar Narvaez. Brewer president of baseball operations David Stearns has indicated he's looking for a replacement via trade and within the pool of remaining free agents. Whew, that's rough, but he's not even going to challenge it. So, I mean, you got to know what you're putting in your bottles. And if you're trying to start a family and that's where you're at, then that is, my friend, where you are at. This is going to make our friend Robert Milazzo very unhappy, Bliss, but we got to do it, and we got to do this together. The Lakers are going to get knocked out of any chance of being in the playoffs tonight. I hate to say that. I want to keep my gig. I'm just saying, tonight is it. This is it. And the millions of people mad at LeBron James. Magic Johnson is also mad at LeBron James. And he's blaming LeBron for not getting DeMar DeRozan to Los Angeles and instead getting Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony and whoever the hell else they signed when they shouldn't have to come to the Lakers. I saw something, I don't know if you saw the same thing, Bliss, about how LeBron has destroyed every team he's been on after 4 years of being there. They'll win a championship, then he'll leave because the team is a mess. It happened in Miami, it happened in Cleveland twice, and it's happening in LA. And wherever he goes next, they'll win something maybe, and then it'll be over. And it's Magic's mad at you. The happiest man on earth is mad at you. Come on.
Yeah,
Come on. Is that good. Milo behind you?
Yeah. I don't know what he's doing.
What is Milo doing?
He's scratching himself.
Hey, something. Milo. Hey, doggy. He's like, whatever, dude. Let's go.
He doesn't know it, but he's having surgery tomorrow. So.
Oh, don't say it out loud. He will get you for that.
He's not going to be happy tomorrow.
Probably not. But yeah, the Lakers, if they lose tonight and the Nuggets beat Cleveland, I think that's how it goes. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
And there's no playoff for LeBron James. The dude he is, even though he's not going to win it, he's in the conversation for MVP. He's had a pretty decent season. He's done things at his age that nobody has done. Yet the one thing that he's successful at doing is ruining a basketball team. I don't want him anywhere near the Chicago Bulls. Stay away. Go to Milwaukee. Go to the Nets. Play with your boys. Stay away from here. I'm good. He's a pariah on these teams. And it's not, I don't know if it's just
he wins the championship everywhere he goes, but it's like you said, that there's always a clock running as to how long he's gonna be there.
He is the dude
for some franchises would be fine,
Yeah. But he's definitely the dude that will get you what you want, and then he's gone. And he's gone as quick as he gets there. And if you're a Laker fan, I'm sorry for you. And I used to be a Laker fan from afar when it was Showtime Lakers with Magic and Worthy and Michael Cooper and all that. When I was really a big Magic Johnson fan, This doesn't look anything like the Lakers to me. Nothing like it. Not even like when Kobe was there. It looked like the Lakers still. This doesn't. This doesn't have any Hollywood on it at all. It just has the rec room, uh, uh, YMCA senior division basketball league, and it looks terrible. And I again, if you're a Lakers fan, you should hope for the worst so that you can get all that cleaned up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and even if they win tonight, they're still like I believe San Antonio is 2 games up on them, and New Orleans is 3 up on them, and there's basically 3 to 4 games left for each team. I think the Lakers have 4 games.
I believe it is San Antonio that if San Antonio wins, that it's a wrap.
Yeah. And I've been the only reason I've been paying attention to that is because the Blazers can potentially get New Orleans pick if they're in the lottery. So I've been kind of watching it, like not really wanting, I'm not really rooting for New Orleans because that was part of the CJ trade, but It's a conditional pick, so it has to fall between 4 and 14. So I'm going to be rooting against the Pelicans when they get to the play-in games because I think the way it works now, I had to look it up earlier, it makes it way more confusing. But if you're the 9 or 10 seed, you basically would have to win every play-in game. Or no, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. So if you're the 7 or 8 seed, you have to lose every single play-in game you play to get into the lottery. So 2 of the teams will be lottery eligible out of the play-in games.
Man,
so it's confusing, and that's the only reason I've been paying attention to it because I want 2 lottery picks. We need it.
Yeah, I bet. I know. I'm hoping that the Nuggets decide that they don't want to, that they can't pay Joker, and that he comes back to be with his friend AK here in town, or that we get Rudy Gobert because Gobert apparently is going to be wanting to get out of Utah, and maybe even Spider Mitchell. Although I think they gave him a big contract not too long ago. But I'll take Rudy Gobert or Joker here. I like Vooch, but come on, man. I need
one of those guys. Yeah. I mean, especially Joker. I mean, that guy.
Yeah, I take it. I take it. And he's nice. What nationality is he? Is he Serbian or Bosnian?
He's Serbian. Yeah, because Nurkic is Bosnian. So that's because Nurkic played alongside each other, and that's why Denver ended up trading Nurkic because they felt like Joker Joker was the future. But a lot of people think even though they competed against each other in practice, they're actually really close friends. They actually really, really like each other. So when you see Denver and Portland meet up, they're always all buddy, and
I'll take them both. I'll take both of them.
Why? Sorry.
I'm sorry.
My dog is licking the door.
He's ready to leave.
It's like, someone let me out of here.
It's almost time, doggy. Don't worry. I got you. Uncle Mario's here. I'm going to get you out of there. Don't worry. So that's the sports report. Nice sports report today, Dale Scott, and that. Good stuff. On this date in 1976, reclusive billionaire Howard Hughes dies in Houston at the age of 72. In 1984, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Let me make this bigger. There you go. You can see. Oh, but now you can't see. Never mind. Why don't you make it small again? And I won't go down. Of course it won't. It's the story of my life today. I can't get this to work. Here we go. You're going to go? Nope. All right, great. I'm going to have to hold on because I'm having a real technical situation here. And that wasn't what I wanted to go away. I'll do it this way. There we go. I tried to make the type bigger and then the screen just froze. Which rarely happens. And it's still, there we go. All right. And then I also took all the chat away too. So let me get them back. They're friends of ours. You should see what's going on in front of me. This is an absolute disaster. All right. Nothing's working. Here we go. Let's get the passengers back. It's a process. It's like MB says. It's a trust the process. Today. What did I say about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? He did something. Oh, he ended up being the leading. He did. He was the leading scorer on planet Earth in 1984. Also, but not limited to that, Tracy Ullman had the distinction of being the first Fox network series, The Tracy Ullman Show, in 1987. Kareem became the all-time leading scorer in the NBA as he reached a total of 31,421 points during a game against the Utah Jazz in 1984. On this day, guitarist Mike McCready from Pearl Jam.
Nice.
Yes, good guitarist, great band. Turned 56 years old today. Pharrell Williams is 49 years old. I think that should be 69. I think dude is a vampire. I think he's super old. In 1980, REM plays his first paid gig at a party given by a friend of the band. Wow, 1980. In 1985, more than 5,000 radio stations play USA for Africa's We Are the World simultaneously. Remember that. And in 1997, Nice Lives by Aerosmith debuts at #1 on Billboard's album chart. Okay, we are caught up on time, so let's take this moment to take a break. Everybody settle down. We'll go back and look in the chat, see who's in there hanging out, and then we'll read our front of mind story, and then we'll go home. It's The Drive with Mario Smith. You're watching it here on Backchannel.tv, YouTube, and on your Amazon-supported devices. And we, Bliss and I, and you, will be right back. Eating avocados, besides being just delicious because they're avocados, the risk of heart attack for both men and women, including eaten in place of butter, cheese, or processed meats. That's new stuff. Cardiovascular disease is a leading killer worldwide, taking nearly 18 million lives every year, according to the World Health Organization. In the United States alone, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says heart disease takes a life every 36 seconds. Eating at least 2 servings of avocado a week reduced the risk of having a heart attack by 21% when compared to avoiding or rarely eating avocados. However, there was not an equivalent benefit in reducing the risk for stroke, according to the study published Wednesday in the Journal of the American Heart Association. A serving of avocado, which is a fruit, was defined as half avocado or half cup of avocado, which roughly weighs 80 grams, said study author Lorena Pacheco, a postdoctoral research fellow in the Department of Nutrition at Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health in Boston. Although no one food is the solution to routinely eating a healthy diet, this study is evidence that avocados have possible health benefits, said Cheryl Anderson, chair of the American Heart Association's Council on Epidemiology and Prevention, in a statement. Anderson was not involved in the study. We desperately need strategies to improve intake of AHA-recommended healthy diets, such as the Mediterranean diet, that are rich in vegetables and fruits, said Anderson, who is also professor and dean of the Herbert Wertheim School of Public Health and Human Longevity Science at the University of California, San Diego. The study followed more than 68,000 women and 41,000 men who were enrolled in 2 long-term government studies on risk factors for chronic disease: the Nurses' Health Study and Health Professionals Follow-Up Study. All participants were free of cancer, coronary heart disease, and stroke at the start of the studies and completed dietary questionnaires every 4 years over a 30-year period. In addition to looking at the overall impact of eating avocados, researchers did statistical modeling and found consuming half a serving of avocado a quarter a day instead of the same amount of eggs, yogurt, cheese, margarine, butter, or processed meats such as bacon lowered the risk of heart attacks by 16% to 22%. The full benefit of routine avocado consumption observed here derives from swapping avocado into the diet and less helpful foods out, said David Katz, a specialist in preventive and lifestyle medicine and nutrition, who was not involved in the study. However, the study did not find a difference in risk reduction when a half serving of avocado was replaced with an equivalent serving of nuts, olive, and other plant oils. That makes sense, Katz said, because the health benefits are dependent food is replaced. If, for instance, the common swap were between avocado and walnuts or almonds, the health effects would likely be negligible since the foods have similar nutritional properties and expected health effects, said Katz, the president and founder of the nonprofit True Health Initiative, a global coalition of experts dedicated to evidence-based lifestyle medicine. But if the avocado replaced and margarine as a spread or was eaten instead of processed meats or cheese on a sandwich, the nutritional distinctions are sizable and would be expected to change the health outcome. I can tell you firsthand, Mr. Gliss, because if I keep reading this, we'll be here till tomorrow. Avocados, for example, avocado toast, not the biggest fan of. I put avocado on a burger, though. Like, I'll spread avocado on a burger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love avocados.
Man, I don't eat enough of them.
This is good news. And last week they said, last week they said I can drink more coffee, and I can take less steps than I thought I needed to. This is all great news. Like,
everything's coming through for you. My man Rui, you learn every. Hey, look, less steps, avocados, coffee. What else? There's something else.
Now I just need the study saying drinking beer every night after work would be beneficial to my health. Like,
and I'm telling you, that would work.
Where's that study?
I think I'm conducting it now. I got some findings.
Well, in moderation, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
It has some benefits.
I have to remember what I said. It's not the weekend. You learn how to take the hit for the team and do one and keep it going, instead of trying to find out how much a human body can hold. Rui's joined the stream from North Carolina, tropical otter in Texas, active camel in Virginia Beach, Virginia, ambitious panda in Texas, quick frog, Christopher in Texas, flimsy dinosaur, resilient goat, Rachel Bobby, ambitious panda, I said that, dusty kangaroo. Okay, fine. So there you go. And also this one for you to take with you. And having recently had time called on its 15 years of service, an Airbus A380 just completed some trial flights powered by cooking oil. The largest passenger jet in the world, a double-decker behemoth, just flew a 3-hour intra-French test flight on sustainable aviation fuel. I'm tired of reading things today. Fuel. Just so everybody knows, I recorded a show earlier today, so it's like the words I can see them, but everything is blah, 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 blah in my mouth. Hydroprocessed esters and fatty acids, SAF's key ingredient, are definitely not what your doctor would label as a healthy cooking oil, but for powering the Rolls-Royce Trent 900 engine on board, it proved successful on March 25th on a French flight from Toulouse to Toulouse, and in a second on March 29th from Toulouse to Nice. Far from being an introductory step, Airbus craft are already certified under both the FAA and the European Aviation Safety Agency to fly commercially with a blend of 50/50 SAF and kerosene. Nevertheless, the company hopes to achieve 100% SAF authorization by the end of the decade. Increasing the use of SAF remains a key pathway to achieving the industry's ambition of net zero carbon emissions by 2050, Airbus said. All right, this is the big roundup. Here we go. Gliss, did you know that over 61,000 people in the U.S. are getting their oil changed right now?
I mean, that makes sense. The line's always long. So
Always. It's never a short line. Did you know you burn more calories eating celery than it contains? The more you eat, the thinner you become.
I was eating celery earlier in the show with some jalapeno hummus.
Oh, look at you. Fancy. Did you know that 45% of us say taking a long hot shower instantly puts us in a good mood? Agreed. And it doesn't have to be long. It could be, I want to be a raisin.
Love a good shower.
Yeah. Why not? Why wouldn't you? It's great. Did you know that attorneys have plastic surgery more than any other profession? I did not know. Did you know 25% of women have tried to enhance their appearance by... Oh, God, I can't read that. Can I read that? I'm going for it. 29% of women... You know what? We just report the news. We're not trying to make it. So please, nobody.
Just a little did you know.
Just did you know. 29% of women have tried to... It's just a little did you know. I like that. 29% of women have tried to enhance their appearance by stuffing their bra with toilet paper. That will be a story for when there are no lights on. Recent research shows that your Facebook status is more memorable than lines from a book. Did you know an electric knife is the #1 small appliance given as a wedding gift these days? Did you know, according to Men's Health, 25% of men have started a fire in the kitchen? Yeah, I think I have. Not a fire, but oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know research says that men are more likely to obey the law while they're married? Well, yeah, because you don't want your wife yelling at you because you decided to break the law. That's clearly obvious. All right. Okay, that's enough. Whew, what a show. We want to thank Dale Scott for being on the show today. Thank you so much, Mr. Scott. We really appreciate that. To the folks who are joining in the chat, thank you guys as well. Stickman, thanks. Mild Dairy Lifesavers, who's on with who's one of the members of the mob that Hal has. Well, I can't repeat what he wrote, but that's funny because I believe he was thinking about. I think he must live in Oregon because he was talking about Dylan T. Pickles. I think. Not 100% sure, but I think so. I don't know. Gliss, thank you, buddy. Have a good night.
You too.
Yeah, man. I will catch you tomorrow. Tomorrow's
Sounds
Wednesday.
good.
Yes, we'll be here. I'll see you tomorrow. Bro.
Yeah, we'll do it again tomorrow.
Well, let's do it again tomorrow.
Go over 50. First show over 50.
That's right. This was episode 50 today.
Yeah.
Who knew that this was going to happen? I sure didn't. So,
look at us.
We did it. 50 episodes. Thank you to everybody that watched today on YouTube and on backchannel.tv, and check this out on your Amazon supported device. We really appreciate it. Don't forget, new schedule begins tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern time with Haley and Allison as they get you going to get your day started. That's going to do it for backchannel.tv today for Tuesday, April 5th, 2022. We will be back again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Eastern time, and you can catch us there. On behalf of the millions of people who work at Backchannel.tv, my name is Mario Smith. Thank you so much for checking us out today. As the sun begins to make its ascent in Chicago, Illinois, we will see you next time. Have a great night. Peace.